I'm here today speaking to Deborah Jay, who is a fantasy and science fiction writer, and we're talking about an anthology series which she has helped to compile, and it's called The World and the Stars. Deborah, it's been a bit of a journey with this one in particular, and particularly quite a bittersweet one, as
it has indeed.
understand. Tell us about that and how it came together.
I began my writing career working with a writers group, and the moderator of that group, who was also the instigator, was a gentleman called Peter Garrett, who was an author of short stories, prolific author, had at least 30 stories published in his career, and very sadly died very young, choked on his curry. Very sad.
Gee. Okay.
And he inspired a lot of people, he knew a lot of people, and this writers group began over 25 years ago, and since then we have stayed together as a group, and practically all of us are published in one form or another now. We have some great names in there, Liz Williams and Cherith Baldry, who also writes as Erin Hunter, amongst others, and we came up with the idea that it would be a way of putting Peter's name back out there by writing short stories or having short stories that we'd already written put together in an anthology and dedicated to Peter.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done. Many of the stories have been previously published in places like Interzone and Asimov's, and they are stories that haven't been seen for quite a long time because they're from years ago, and mixed in with some new material from newer authors.
Yeah. Is there a distinct kind of theme that runs through it, or is it just
No,
really
our editor, Chris Butler, very distinctly says in the foreword that he didn't want to have a theme as such. His criteria was the imagination and the quality of writing. So there is no particular theme to these. In fact, it's a very wide-ranging group of science fiction and fantasy stories, which should have something to appeal for everybody. But what you can guarantee is that they're all good stories.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're advised as a writer to let what you know filter into your stories, so they can give that dynamic of truth to your writing. You'd mentioned about that you're very big in your love of horses, and you've also written some non-fiction about that.
I have, yes.
So do you find yourself trying to get horses into all of your stories because of that love?
No. My first novel, The Prince's Man, certainly has a horse as a character. But other than that, no other books I've written have not had horses.
Yeah.
I don't find it necessary to put them in there, though I like to do so if I can.
Of course.
And of course, when other people write fantasy, a lot of fantasy includes horses, even in a minor way, so I can tell them whether they're doing it accurately or not.
Yeah, well, that's good. Because you did write an article on just examining horses within fiction and how many of them would have been killed if it was in a real life situation.
How not to kill your horse in one paragraph.
Yeah, I suppose as writers we can get carried away with, wow, this seems like a great theme, and lose track of what the reality of it is. So
indeed.
It's good that you can bring that dynamic to your writing. You've got other books which you're working on, which you have completed. You've got The Prince's Man and Desperate Measures. What's next? What are you working on next beyond?
The Prince's Man, I'm nearly finished with the sequel for that. That is supposed to be, or it started out to be, a trilogy. It's now gone to be a quadrilogy.
Right.
Because there turned out to be too much material. So yeah, I'm nearly at the end of the second part. I try to write standalone novels that you can pick up and read separately rather than having to read the series. But there is an overall arc for the whole story. Yeah. And I've just completed a short story based after Desperate Measures, which is an urban fantasy about a sprite, which is why the wordplay in the title. Yep. And that's set in Inverness, which is one of my locations that I love to stay. And I've just, like I say, written a short story which I'm going to be offering as a freebie to anybody who signs up to my newsletter.
great. Deborah is kindly giving away free copies of the ebook of The World and the Stars to anyone through this website. So don't miss out on that for sure. Deborah, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck with that. That's I mean, it sounds great, and as I say, it's a very worthy thing, and it's great to see something that's been compiled from a group that's been going that long and putting that much into it. But thanks very much, and good luck with all of that.
Thank you.